Hey everybody, Jamie here from the Keeping It Real group, powered by the incredible and one and only Crossroads Realty. We're back in the studio here in Toms River, New Jersey for another episode of Keeping It Real with Jamie. Very, very exciting day today. Donna's behind the controls, as always, keeping me in line. Nothing different here than at home, right? Anyway, we have our first celebrity guest in the house today, and I'm super excited. And it's funny because we met. He was a client of mine, and I always talk and ask questions. What do you do for a living? And this guy's big into professional football. Actually, he's a scout. Does work for the NFL. Listen, we're going to get into all of that. But we met. We really hit it off. We became friends, and a lot of my clients do become friends, but Rick is definitely a cool guy, and I'm so honored. And he's like a pioneer in the webcasting and podcasting, all about football and sports. And the guy's incredible. His knowledge of football is through the roof. Welcome, Ric Serritella, to the house. Come on, Rick.
Hey, Jamie, thanks for having me, man. Listen, we were sitting here. You were pumping me up off the air before we went on the show, rattling off all of my work history. And, man, you have me sounding like a celebrity. If I am, I'm definitely like on that D list.
Well, I don't know. Then that puts us on the F list.
But no, I'm a big fan of Crossroads Realty and what you guys do for the community. And
unbelievable what they do here at this
and
company.
also what you do for the military.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yep.
And also a big Jamie Lasasso fan. I mean, you're like a modern day Renaissance man. I mean, the man is cooking up properties. He's cooking up. I see Donna. He's cooking up meals in the kitchen over here on Facebook. I don't get the invite. That's okay.
No, we'll get you there.
What else? You're jamming out. They're doing the music thing.
He's
unbelievable. This guy.
I don't know about unbelievable. Well, unbelievable, but just different terms of that. But super glad to have you here, especially the Super Bowl this week. So, most of the show is about real estate, but not today. Today we're going to talk some football with someone who knows a lot about it. Super Bowl Sunday, before we start. Well, first of all, let me go over what you've done. This is pretty impressive. Former scout for the advanced scout for the CFL at the Edmonton Elks Football Club. He was the founder of the Draft Bible. Former producer at NBCSN, former manager at HTN Communications, former producer at ESPN, former writer at USA Today Sports, and a former producer at the Yes Network, and former executive producer, you're stuttering, at Wall Street Journal. Pretty impressive. Also, he does a weekly All Access Football is his... That's your main domain. And he does the NFL Draftcast weekly. This guy's been doing this when it all started.
Yeah.
With the podcast and the webcast. And he's really thrown his arm in to help me out. Thank you to get this out bigger. But let's talk some football. 247.
Yeah, we're going to blow it up, baby.
All right.
The Super Bowl, too. It's big news around here. I know a lot of schools in South Jersey are having a delayed day, school opening or day off. And I think that should be par for the course. And
Philadelphia, too, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And, the NFL is eventually going to get to 18 games so that it can push the calendar back. It'll happen. It'll push the Super Bowl a week back, which will be falling on President's Day, which is a day off.
Yeah.
So that's what they want to get to, that Monday being a holiday day off so that everybody has off the day after the Super Bowl, which...
Yeah,
wouldn't that help everybody a little bit? I mean,
well, back in the day, it would me. To me, it doesn't matter. I probably won't make the second half, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
but back in the day, because it's a party. It really
it starts so late out here. I mean, 6:30, 7 o'clock. They're kicking off. This game finishes at midnight, 1 o'clock.
Well, it used to be 8:30, 9 o'clock. It used to be on.
It's when
I was a kid.
But listen, I'll tell you what. I went to. I was at both of the Giants Super Bowl parades in the 2000s, and I was also at the Eagles parade. What was that, about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And I gotta say, man, that was like the party of the ages. I don't know if I've been to a bigger celebration down Broad Street. I mean, it was so cool. I'm literally, guys, I'm walking down Broad Street. If you know Philadelphia,
yep.
downtown is blocked off. You can't drive. The highways are closed. You can't even take a subway in. We had to take a subway from the outskirts, and 4 a.m. people are drinking on the subway. I'm walking downtown with a 30 rack under my arm, handing a beer to a cop. People smoking joints everywhere, dangling from the statues,
Crazy.
upside down. Here comes the Eagles trucks. People are throwing cans up to these guys. They're smashing them on the floats. I mean,
crazy.
And then you got the best thing about it, though, like when I tell you all walks of life. I don't care if you're a creature, a human, what color you are, what race you are, what your background is, what your political beliefs are that day. I mean, people were dancing in the pond together.
Wow.
They started the Soul Train line. I mean, the city of brotherly love, that was the definition of it. And I'm not even an Eagles fan, and people think I am because I had a daily show in Philadelphia. We talk to Eagles every day. I really have no football alliance. I grew up a Broncos fan. I was a big John Elway guy. And I'll tell you what, I'm rooting for the Eagles just so we can have that parade again.
Listen, I know I'm a Giant fan, so people are gonna bust my chops about saying this, but I'm about the Eagles. I want to keep it the NFC East. I mean, I hate the Eagles, but you know,
I mean,
you
got an
rivals.
excuse. You can root for Saquon Barkley now.
Yes,
that guy's a class act.
Oh my man, can that guy run? He is what an athlete. What an athlete.
The Giants blew that one.
You think? Yeah, you let him go. But anyway, well, listen, the guy didn't have a line, you know. Look what he can do with somebody who can block for him. And the guy, man, he's just fun to watch. I don't care what team he's on. He's just fun to watch.
And it's a shame because now when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's probably going to be Kelly Green, not Giant Blue.
No. Well, listen, I'm still blown away that they let him go instead of building an offense around him. But, hey, who do I know? That's why I got you here. So my first question to you, my friend, is how'd you get into this? Did you know you wanted to be a football, into all this? I mean, you live and breathe football.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I follow you on Facebook.
Yeah.
I see you're constantly. So when did this all start and how?
Well, I guess it goes back to high school. I wasn't a very good student. I was always in the back of the class with the sports page getting yelled at. And, I mean, my teachers will be happy to know it paid off now. But, I remember I always had a fascination with the draft. I remember, the first draft I really got into it. I think it was, the year Keyshawn Johnson was coming out, and I was a big Zach Thomas fan coming out of college. Zach Thomas was an undersized linebacker,
Yes,
5'9", and Denver. I was a Denver fan at the time, and I know they needed a middle linebacker, and here I am all excited and thinking, hey man, Zach Thomas is sitting here in the first round. I can't believe it, and I'm all excited. I'm like, they got to take Zach Thomas, right? And they take Ashley Lilly out of Hawaii. And Ashley Lilly didn't last very long in the league. But then the second round passed by, and the third round, I think, came around. And then Zach Thomas gets drafted. And, I was just fascinated. I was hooked right there. And, luckily, it's really about who you know, just like any other business. And my mom is a hairdresser. She worked for a lot of, producer types in New York. Next thing you know, I'm working for the Mike and the Mad Dog show.
Oh yeah,
on the
yeah.
Yes
I used
Network,
to love
right?
Mike and the Mad
Dog.
So
And that launched the Yes Network.
Yes,
that was the
it
first
did.
show. And so people don't realize. I mean, that was almost 30% of the daily programming was Mike and the Mad Dog show because
Wow.
they were live for 6 hours. Then they did a best of show that they aired at night, which was another hour or two.
Wow.
So 8 of the 24 hours a day was Mike and the Mad Dog. So,
and Knicks. I remember we've seen a lot of Knicks stuff on.
They were just trying to get however they can get content. But radio on TV was relatively new. Don Imus kind of made it big, and our executive producer actually was the producer for Don Imus. He pitched the concept of doing the sports on TV. Hence, Mike and the Mad Dog were born on TV.
Man,
And look at Mad Dog. He is now more popular than ever.
He's on the
Unbelievable.
The
You
series,
see him running up here on the boardwalk every now and then.
He hangs in Manasquan. I
Yeah,
think,
well,
or
he used to
something.
be in Manaloke, and I heard he sold the house.
Well,
But he used to be running up here. I saw him. Last time I saw him, the little one was still in a carriage. I was trying to keep up with them.
big tennis guy too.
Big tennis
Yeah.
guy. And
It's it just goes to show you anybody can make it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the guy's definitely entertaining.
Well,
He's an entertaining guy. I don't know what he was like off there.
No, he's cool. I mean, the Mad Dog's cool, man. Everybody, always asks me, is Francesa as big of a jerk as he comes across? And the answer is yes.
I didn't want to say that because,
okay.
He came off a little arrogant.
That's okay.
But listen, whatever he's working.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, they call him the sports pope for a reason, and
big into horse racing too.
Big into horses. Yeah. It happens in this business, and we try not to hold it against him.
Yeah, listen, a lot of people call me a jerk. So, so more football. Now you're interested into it. So how do you actually get to be a scout?
Right.
Is there a scouting school?
Well, no. So I have an interesting story, and I think like the people that get into scouting so many different ways. Rarely I kicked in the back door through the media side. So I'm in New York City, working at the Yes Network. The NFL draft is held at Radio City Music Hall. Back then it was the theater at Madison Square Garden, and then it moved to Radio City, and then it moved to the Javits Center for a while. But anyway, it was in my backyard. I liked it much better in New York. I always joke. I used to take the subway for $1.25 to get to the draft. Now I got to fly across country, and this year went into Green Bay, Wisconsin. They move it all around.
That's where I want to go.
Yeah, right. So I said, hey, listen, Yes Network had a website. Obviously, it was new. They needed content. I said, they were trying to cover all sports. I said, well, you don't have anybody covering the NFL draft. It's right down the road. I think I need to go, and that's how the NFL Draft Bible was born. So like the first version of it appeared on yesnetwork.com.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. And, I built up my network. It took about 10 years to build up the network. And because I worked in media, I get to work all these different events and meet people and red carpet events and, access.
Different access than most people get.
Yeah. And I was living in New York City. I was living in Astoria, Queens for 10 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, in my 20s, hustling. A
lot of good eating places around there too.
Man,
right?
I'll tell you, it was a great place to be in my 20s. Not somewhere I would want to be so much in my 40s, but
not unarmed. Anyway.
I mean, they won't even piss on you if you're on fire. Literally, I mean that poor woman.
Different world now.
What a sick world. Anyway,
different world now.
I wouldn't want to do that commute anymore.
I don't blame you there.
But listen. So I got the. I worked my way up, and I was doing a lot of different jobs. Eventually, I was just doing like CEO jobs. I had a guy, Joe Cohen, God bless him. He had this company, HTN Communications, and he's out here living a life. He's flying back and forth between the Hamptons and LA, and I'm out here whining and dining all his clients and doing all the work and running his business. And it was cool, but it didn't pay like it needed to pay in New York City. So I said, you know what, listen. If I'm gonna run someone else's business and make them all this money, it's time to spread my wings and fly and just make myself my business now. And that's how it was kind of all born. That was like 2010, where I went full time with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
14 years ago, 15 now.
Yeah. So I don't know what else to do. I mean, in some ways, I'd be lost in the game of life without football. I mean. I love what I do. It keeps me occupied all day between that and my daughter. And otherwise, if I have time to think, man, I'm like dead in the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I do the guitar and all that other stuff. I'll be dead in the water. Wow, interesting stuff. So now I see you on Facebook and you're constantly on. I see all the football guys you talk to.
Yeah.
You don't go to the Super Bowl?
I've had no reason. Being a draft guy, there's really no reason. There's a lot of hoopla. I get credentials to Radio Row and all the media access, and
wow,
I can go and do all that if I wanted to. But I'll tell you what, Jamie, like the value for me, they rake you over the coals with the flights. The hotels are through the roof.
Very expensive.
They take advantage of you, and $5,000 later, what are you really getting back? And that's the thing. Like, I was on Sports Illustrated. Before I took the Elks job, I was on Sports Illustrated for 3 years. And we had a great platform, and there's a lot of advantages to being on a mainstream media platform, which I have been. I'm back to being independent now. So when people see me on the road, right, they see me over here, they see me over there. I joked the other day on Twitter, and we're going to get you on X, back on X, by the way. But, I said, I went on a podcast show like this, and or one of my road compadres, Neil Stratton, was on a show talking about our road travels, and it's like you see me on social media. It looks like the glitz and the glamour, and we're all having fun. What you don't see are the rides from Dallas to Houston to Mobile to New Orleans, the shit-stained hotels we're staying in to save a few bucks. I mean, it's unbelievable what we go through, but you don't see all that. And, those are the sacrifices, like, as you get older, like scouting and the NFL draft, it requires travel. Luckily, in January, I get to go to the Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, and some of these all-star games. I get to get eyeballs on, 500, 700 guys in a one month span, and it allows me to do a comparison, apples to apples, orange to orange. When I first got into the business, one of the scouts said to me, he was a little off the beaten path. We're really just studying the movement of science, and I said, what is this guy talking about? But the more I do it, these guys been doing the same. I've been doing this 25 years. These guys been doing the same drills at the combines for 25 years, the same drills at the pro days since I've been the start of time. So after a certain amount of time, your eye gets trained. You watch guys go through the drills, and you just see their fluid movements, how they move their hips, how they move their ankles, their footwork, their change of direction ability, and you can just easily weed out guys who are going to make it and guys who are not, because over the course of time, I've seen thousands of guys go through that drills, and I know what success looks like. I know what failure looks like. I know what a Canadian Football League player looks like, and I know what a National Football League player looks like. And that trained eye and that confidence and your ability takes time, just like anything else.
Wow.
And man, I've been lucky though to be around some phenomenal scouts, talent evaluators. Like, it's a never-ending process, and it's
big business.
The more
Football's big business.
The more you do this, the more you realize how little you know. And the fact is, football is a simple game ran by like some pretty complex schemes. So like the more you dig into the X's and O's, man, and that's really what my audience is digging, right? Because they tune into the live stream with a guy like me and Brian Baldinger. We're chopping it up, breaking it down, talking X's and O's, but we can put it in layman's terms. We can have a beer with you.
I love all those football terms.
And
you get all that done?
It's John Madden style, though. You can relate to it.
Of course, yeah. Oh, that's great. All right, so now COVID comes along, and we were talking off camera before. That changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, the way they can try out. You were saying, it used to be 15, 20 guys at once. Now it was one, coming in. And explain what you did there to me and my peeps out here.
Yeah, COVID, I feel like I was joking before we went on air. If I drop dead today, on my tombstone, you should put at least the state of football.
The state of football, guys.
What I did during COVID with Don Yee, who's a well-known agent. He reps Tom Brady and Sean Payton and some pretty big-time dudes. And so he's tapped into the NFL front offices even more so than me, right? And he came up with a concept. Tuesday is known as the tryout day and for NFL teams. They fly guys in, they work them out. I mean, everybody's always turning the roster. There's a 53-man roster. There's a 12-man practice squad. Every organization is always looking to upgrade those 47 to 53, the bottom of your roster. So every Tuesday, you create competition, you bring guys in, you work them out. During COVID, you didn't have that. In fact, you had horror stories. You had agents telling me, my client, he flew to San Francisco. He had to go, he was holed up in a hotel. He had to do the COVID test requirements, wait for the results to come back. The first one came up false. The second one was false negative. Rick, he stayed there in a week. They didn't even bring him in the building. They flew him back home. So Don came up with this concept of the hub football camp, and I mean, I never stopped traveling during the whole time of COVID.
Wow, it was a pain in the ass to get on planes and everything.
In fact, it was actually great, Jamie. You know why? Because the airports were like a ghost town.
Oh yeah.
Okay. No rules applied. Like, it was open container policy. Okay,
really?
So now it's like walking down the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Everybody's just having a party.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it had its negatives and also had its positives. But you know, it was at first scary. But I think that over time, what we did was put guys back into the NFL. And the CFL, and we had such a high success rate, like 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 guys off the street. And like some of these camps, we would have 500, 700 guys apply. And I would go in, I'd weed out the best of the best, bring in the top 50, top 60 guys, and we'd get, you know, a lot of guys signed off the street. So I would say, you know, if anything, that's probably my biggest contribution or my biggest give back to the football community. And then the State of the Football show is just, you know, we had football industry professionals from executives, agents, scouts, coaches, players. It was such a wild time. We didn't know who's playing, who's in, who's out. The Pac-12's out, the Big Ten's in, the SEC's all in. You know, UConn's out. Who's playing? I mean, are we going to have football today? And it was just wild with the vaccines and, man.
Wow, yeah. You don't realize all that, too. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was crazy times.
Yeah.
Still crazy times. Wow, interesting stuff. So now you're, like I said, I see you all over. Who's your favorite football player that you actually got? Well, first of all, who's your all around ever played the game on type? I know it's hard to get down to one.
For football?
Football.
John Elway was my guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all time?
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah.
All right.
And he kind of, you know, I saw him at the Hall of Fame game several years back, and he kind of big-timed me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, you know, Thomas Dimitroff was coming in to say hello, so he blew me off. So I can't be mad.
Wow.
You know, but no, he's a good good quarterback.
He's still GM, right? Or he's a
no,
boss over
he's
there?
more in the background now. I think he got a lot of heat after, you know, he won that Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I named his arena team, by the way, the Colorado Crush. And I should put that in my footnotes somewhere. I don't even get credit for that. But he won a championship with the Colorado Crush. They made him the GM with the Broncos. He won the Super Bowl. He brought in Peyton Manning. And then it was a revolving door at quarterback. So they kind of, I think they gave him like a cushiony job upstairs. He's probably a meet and greet in the suite somewhere now. But I don't think he's too heavily involved.
He was a great quarterback.
Yeah,
he was definitely a good quarterback.
That was a great era. You had Montana, Marino, Elway, some pretty good quarterbacks during that time frame. Troy Aikman was another one. Yeah, I mean, the guy won.
What about Eli?
Well, I think that's a different, you know, that Eli era. You know, he's up for the Hall of Fame. By the way, it's very controversial.
I like the whole family. I think, you know, Archie, man. I mean, they're a football family. Damn.
It's amazing. I had a chance to interview Archie too at the College Football Hall of Fame, and
Saints, right?
Yeah,
he played for the Saints. When I was a kid, I used to watch him.
Yeah, he was good, man.
Yeah,
and,
he was.
He you know, he played for some terrible teams.
Well, that was the issue.
So he probably doesn't get enough credit that he deserves.
He took some beatings too, that poor guy.
He did, man.
And now he just keeps producing quarterbacks. I mean,
yeah. Well, there's Arch Manning now at Texas.
He looks pretty good, that kid, man. I think the Giants are going to probably get him in the future.
You know, they've been looking for a quarterback since Eli left.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, it's painful to watch. It really is.
It hurts.
It's
you know,
painful
like
to watch.
just being from Jersey and watching the Jets and the Giants are so poorly ran. It's brutal.
I remember when I was a kid, it was the LT days, Bill Parcells, Belichick, defensive genius. Got to see LT play live, and he's, to me, as far as football, maybe not so much a person, but damn guy was good, man. He
So
was good.
I'll give you a real quick Brian Dayball story.
Okay.
So we're walking back to the hotel in I think we were in Alabama at the Senior Bowl, or we might have been in Dallas. Can't remember. But Brian Dayball was there. He was like recruiting one of the draft prospects, sitting down, talking all this talk. I didn't know he was sitting there. And here I am. Somebody asked me about Jersey. And I said, listen, you're going to fly into Newark. It's the armpit of America. Everybody gets the impression that it stinks and it smells.
Oh,
and,
they're 13
right? I said, but really, it's actually a lot of farms and
cool
grassland.
state,
Yeah. And so, like, there's Brian Dayball looking up at me like, hey, talking to the player. Yeah, so about the Giants, as they're going to fly into the Newark, New Jersey airport.
That's a tough airport, man.
Oh, I always say it's the friendliest airport in the world.
Especially
The world's most
handlers.
friendliest airport. I mean, I've never seen, and it's becoming more common, unfortunately, in the airports. That's why COVID was such a pleasure. I never seen so many people wake up on the wrong side of the bed, though. It's like unbelievable. They come to work seeking a fight.
Yeah, pissed off.
I actually fly out of Philadelphia now.
Nice airport. Yeah.
And the parking is $15 a night. Newark,
It's ridiculous.
it's like $65 for the economy parking.
We did the last time we flew out of Newark, we did that.
These
whole
guys are on
off-site park. It's just a hassle.
Unbelievable.
I drove this year.
I'm driving to Indianapolis this year for the
it's not a
combine.
bad
I'm
ride.
so tired of this airport nonsense.
It's tough. I don't like to be. I love
How about
the flight.
this? My buddy says, hey, I'm driving to Alabama. Never mind. I was going to fly from Dallas to New Orleans, get a rental car, drive to Alabama. My buddy said, hey, I live in Houston. Just come with me. We'll drive from Dallas. We'll watch the games in Houston. We'll go to. All right. So I didn't go to my flight from Dallas to New Orleans. American Airlines cancels my flight from Alabama to Philadelphia now.
Oh, get out of here.
That's their policy. So now I got to book a new flight. I said, let me fly out of New Orleans because now all the rates are jacked up. Okay. I go, let me fly Frontier. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Save some money there. My God. First of all, nowadays you're lucky if they come up and down the aisle and give you one complimentary
Nothing.
drink, right?
Yeah,
Wait,
bag
no,
of
how about
bad
this?
nuts or
Now
something.
how about Frontier, though, right? They say, they come up and down like for your complimentary drink. I said, sure, I'll take a coffee. And she goes, yeah, that'll be $5, please.
Yeah.
I said, what are you kidding me?
For coffee.
I said, get out of here, what?
What was the airline I think we were taking?
Are you nuts? My
halfway-
complimentary drink is $5 now?
It was getting so
and
bad.
listen, wait, I got a 6-year-old at home, so this girl was about my daughter's age. She's from Ukraine. First of all, the Ukrainians didn't want to get out of my seat, and nobody from Frontier wanted to tell them to get out of my seat. So that was the first situation. Then they're kicking my seat the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? And I practiced my Marcus Aurelius stoicism. It came in handy. I didn't say a word. I kept my calm. I figured I know how these little girls' minds work. If I say something, she's just going to kick my chair even more.
Yep.
But then they felt bad for me, so they gave me the coffee. They said, "Oh, you
$5
still want that coffee?" I said, "Not for $5." Like, "Oh, no, you can have it." Oh, it takes me getting kicked in the back for 3 hours to get 2 sips of coffee over here.
Yeah.
And then you got the
crazy.
savages, third world country savages on these flights in Frontier, and then they tempt you. You get off the plane. They say, "Well, for $500, you can fly anywhere, anytime on Frontier." I said, I don't want no risk it, no biscuit, no.
I don't
thank
like
you
any
with
of them.
Frontier.
I'm not into the airlines anymore. Like I'll
man.
drive unless I have. I'm not driving to an island, but I don't see me going to an island anytime soon either.
Only the island of the Jersey Shore.
Yep. And no matter what, I've been to a lot of beaches. Our shores here in Jersey,
best.
Man, I'll tell you what, our sand
best.
is nicer.
I tell people that
They don't either. Yeah, me.
They don't
I
believe
say
me.
I'll take Seaside Park any day of the week
All day.
over anywhere in
Sign me
Florida.
up.
Yep. And we
I don't
we
care.
use it a lot. I mean, right here in Ocean County where we live, we have the best beaches, which is
best.
phenomenal. Yeah. So one of the positives of New Jersey. So you like the Eagles this weekend?
Well, let me be clear now, because
This weekend.
every time I've picked against the Chiefs, they've proven me wrong. So I'm just going to say this.
I'm chiefed out.
I'm just going to keep picking against them and hope that one of these times I'm going to be right.
Well, the odds are in your favor.
Well, here's the one, Jamie, here's the one stat that just hits a nerve with me. I can't wrap my head around that really irks me. You know, Vic Fangio is the defensive coordinator over there for Philadelphia. This man is 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he is the kryptonite. And the Eagles have the number 1 defense in the league. And I'm not sure, like, this might be the best defense he's ever had. But he's never beaten Patrick Mahomes. And that guy, man.
Speaking of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and it's been all over. You can only believe half of what you see on Facebook. The refs. Come on, man. I not. Something's up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I saw some questionable and non-calls against the Chiefs. I mean, I know it's
been going on
it's
for
all
years.
about money.
Yeah.
And, they love that the singer. What's her name? What's the singer's name? Taylor Swift is all involved with it.
Swifties,
but it's taken away from football. It really is.
Yeah.
It's making, listen, I just started watching it again now since the whole kneeling thing.
I understand, yep. Yep.
And that really hit my note. This country's giving you the opportunity to make millions and millions, and you're going to sit on your knee now. No. So I watched a few games this year. I'm actually, I suffered through a bunch of Giant games. And I watched most of the playoff games when I could, but
just a fair warning.
The playoffs, it was blatant.
Well, you're gonna see Taylor Swift about 24 times.
Well, that's just it too. It's about football. But
and
listen, she sells tickets.
Yeah, well,
that's what it is.
I'll say this. It's been going on for years. If you look at the roughing the passer penalty calls in the NFL this year, Patrick Mahomes by far received the most.
And even that Houston game, he didn't even get hit. The two guys hit each other, and they called it.
And not including the postseason, just the regular season, he had 7 penalties for roughing the passer. So basically every other game.
Yeah, wow.
The second most in the entire NFL, there was a couple quarterbacks that got 2.
Wow.
I mean, like...
that's a whole nother show right there.
And that's a whole other show. And you just got the referee that got implicated on all kinds of new gambling charges.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Donahue, the NBA ref?
No.
He got busted. They made a Netflix about him. He said, "What do you think? I'm the only referee that gambles?"
Yeah. Well, we can see some on the weekends.
Come on now.
You would think.
Come on.
Well, dude, this has been great. Let's we're gonna do you again. You're definitely gonna
Are we winding down? I feel like we're just getting started.
Well, we can go a little longer if you want.
Yeah, let's chop it
All
up.
right. What
What do you got going on though? Where are you playing next? I want to know.
I kind of put the music to the side because I went to school, got my broker's license, which took a lot of time, and I'm really concentrating on the real estate now. And
keeping it real.
Always keeping it real.
That,
I got a huge listing hitting tomorrow. Actually, right in my neighborhood, which is nice. That was easy to do. I got a bunch of stuff in the pan, just nurturing it.
Yeah.
Trying to.
By
get
the
it
way,
out
Jamie
there.
helped me out when nobody else could.
Listen,
I'm not even kidding you. Like
it was meant to be because we're friends now.
Yeah,
and,
man.
Just tell all your friends that.
I have been.
I know you do. I know
I've been
you
working.
do. I got
By
to
the
meet
way,
your
you have
mom.
another cold one laying
Yes,
around?
I do.
Thank
I
you,
happen
sir.
to.
Yeah, good.
But they
Segment 2, we need a second beer.
They met your mom, met your daughter.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
Everything's good there, so I'm glad that worked out for you. And talk a little bit more about your. What are we going to talk about while I grab his beer? This is never a problem on the show.
Well, no, listen, we're doing some big stuff over at allaccessfootball.com. In fact, if you're a football fan, Brian Baldinger, he does the Baldy breakdowns. He's now riding shotgun with me on my weekly draft show over on X. It's streamed all across social media. Salute. Thank you, Paisan. And it's going to be every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern between now and the NFL draft. So that's where you want to be.
And how do you get on that, you said?
Well, you can find NFL Draft Bible or All Access Football on social media. We're not hard to find.
Ric Serritella is how I have you on Facebook. You can follow him.
Yeah, you could do that too. And I probably can't make the full announcement right now, but we have a major announcement in the works for NFL draft coverage. where myself and Baldy will be bringing you pick by pick coverage of all 3 days. It's gonna be unbelievable.
And when is the draft? Pardon my
April
ignorance.
24th through the 26th.
Okay.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin. Last year was Detroit.
It won't be too cold there. It should be up in the 20s.
Was it last year or 2 years ago? They had a shooting when it was at Kansas City. People forget this. They had a shooting at the draft.
Oh yeah, I think I remember something about that.
And then that was 2 years ago. Now last year it was in Detroit, and they had like hundreds of police officers. Right. This year it's in Green Bay. They said that the town of Green Bay has about 10 full-time police officers.
Wow. Wow.
So talk about
you get some good cheese.
Event management crisis, though. You're going to have 2 million people ascend upon Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Where were we? We have a Green Bay story, right? Remember when we were in Jamaica? It was the Giants in Green Bay in that super cold game. What was that? It was the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And the winner was going to the Super Bowl, and it was like
against Rodgers. Was it against Rodgers?
Yeah. And no, it was Brett Favre was still playing.
Oh wow! Oh,
this is going back
about
it was the Frigid Bowl, I think they called it back then. It was the NFC Championship.
It was in Green Bay.
It was in Green
they won.
Bay.
The Giants won on the road every game. The Road Warriors. Yes.
Year.
Yeah.
So we're in Jamaica on vacation, and naturally, there's not too much good TV, but that Sunday they had that game on.
Yeah.
So everybody, they're all from the United States, they was in there.
Sure.
We were the only Giant fans. We were sitting behind this one lady who thought she knew Brett Favre personal. Right. Come on, honey, bop, bop, bop. So then everybody's making fun of us because we're like cheering. We were the only Giant. They were losing. Sure. So then when the husband says, well, I'm going to go back to the room and get my cheese hat. I said, buddy, you come back with that cheese hat. We're going to have a problem. So they ended up pulling it out at the end, and everybody was all gruntled. I remember jumping up, just saying, see you later, folks.
Grating that cheese, baby.
Yeah, it was quite different at the pool the next day.
Yeah.
But that's my only Green Bay story. Never drove through it. Never. It's... that's the Midwest. There's no doubt about that.
That was a great Giants team when they were built on defense.
Yeah. Well, listen, even the 86 team, they had a great defense. I remember all that. I was so glad I got to see all that. And I remember going back to the Fran Tarkenton days when I was just a little lad.
He just turned 85 the other day, by the way. Yeah.
He was pretty good. He went to Green Bay. No, he was in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about a scrambler. He was ahead of his time.
Yes, he was. Yeah. And then and also in high school, I played ball, and we played against Watchung Hills, and one of the linemen there played for Denver because he gave us a picture. He was 77. This is going
Carl
back.
Mecklenburg?
No.
Mecklenburg was 77.
This was back in, I'm going to say the 70s.
Okay.
No, 77, 78. Vlasic or something, I can't remember, but I just remember him bringing in a picture and signed it, and we had it in our restaurant back in the day. Again, I was a senior in high school, I think, so 1979. So it was somewhere there, and he was a rookie in 79.
By the way, you mentioned the Shorty Long interview. I got to know where do I go find that now? Is it on the YouTube?
It's
channel?
on my channel, my YouTube channel.
That's going to be a hard. That's going to be a hard show to live up to,
right?
Man. I can't wait to watch.
That was a good one. We had a couple good real estate shows too, but the wildest one was that one
for sure.
Especially since we had to do it twice and recreate it. And 2 bottles of I think it was rare breed bourbon we were drinking. It was funny, and the guys are definitely. They got a great story too, especially Ricky, Shorty Long.
When's the last time you went to a Shorty Long concert? Have you been? We got to get out there this summer.
Been to so many. Yeah. It's been a little bit because we don't really go out and do that anymore.
Yeah,
First of all, it's past my bedtime.
Well, every Thursday night we're gonna get out there one day this summer.
Yeah, well, listen, summer's different. Summer's different. They play on Thursday nights at the Beachcomber. That's their best they're at their best in there because that's their home bar. Mike, hooks them up, and it's a that's a fun time. Yeah, it really
absolutely.
is. We actually had the Crossroads Gala was at that Ocean Club or something.
Yeah,
this was 2 years ago, and it was on I don't know how, but Shorty Long was playing at the Beachcomber the same night. So we were done there at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're just going on there. Our whole company just about went in there. A bunch of realtors in there bopping to them guys were just ripping it. They're a good band.
By the way, I mean, how about Seaside Heights? All the moving and shaking. You got Hooks is now building that big residential. You got that Massachusetts guy is developing that. Did I see $6 billion hotel?
I'm not
$6
sure.
$6 million hotel.
But there's a lot of stuff.
Man.
Listen, they were talking about changing that to a family town again. For years.
They cleaned up Sleeside.
Yeah,
is,
listen,
no
that
more.
was my boardwalk growing up. Always went to Seaside, even back in high school. And still to this day, we walk the boardwalk at least 2-3 times.
But I don't think you're gonna recognize it in 5 years.
I don't recognize it now.
Yeah.
I mean, the one end with all the, I think Dean Mabey's he has all those booths and everything.
Yeah.
It's definitely different now.
Yeah.
I'm missing the one pier. We always had 2 piers. I remember when the Beachcomber was out on that pier, and they still ring the bell too with the tip. And I remember that as a little kid.
Yeah.
Because even when I was a tiny kid, we used to spend our week vacation at the Jersey Shore in Ortley, at the Ortley House, which isn't even there anymore.
Yeah, Joey Harrison's, man. Good times.
But the beach, yeah. Oof. What was the name of that club?
Surf Club.
The Surf Club, yeah.
Hey now.
Not a long time ago.
That's another show.
That's condos now. I think there's
they sold
there.
the liquor license to a strip mall, and they went through a lot of
that
hassle.
whole Lavalette since Sandy. I mean, the whole Barrier Island's different now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting some monster houses up. It's
and
incredible.
Manilokin, they just said,
forget
screw it,
about
we'll just
Manilokin.
go bigger and better.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, those guys, huh?
And I'm glad because again, the Jersey Shore, this is a great area.
We
there's
just
no doubt
now
about
we got the dunes where I
can't
do the
see the
morning
ocean.
run.
Yeah.
I'm looking at but hey, I get it.
Yeah. It's totally different. Even the boardwalk. We walked the whole boardwalk, and you can see, like, when I look at it, it's different, but I can still see the old, like the lemon stand is still there.
Everything
the Midway,
is a reminiscence of itself.
Lucky Leo. I remember the days of the Chatterbox was on the boardwalk.
The Midway steaks are half the steaks they used to be.
Double the price.
Sawmill Pizza, the products are not.
I'm a Beachcomber pizza guy. I think their pizza's
underrated,
actually
very
really,
underrated.
really good on
It's
there.
about as good as it gets.
It's the best on the boardwalk.
I think so.
Yeah,
as funny as
without a
it
doubt.
sounds.
Yeah.
I once in a while I'll switch it up with Marukas with the tomato pie, but it's just
a little bit too sweet for me.
Yeah,
the
it's
sauce.
just okay.
It's too sweet.
It's just
at
okay.
$8 a slice.
By the way, these pizza prices in town are getting a little pricey, man.
Yeah, I make my own, but we go to Shiano's down in Bayville. He's got
the best bang for your buck on the island anyway is Luigi's in Point Pleasant. It's in a little tiny strip mall by Joey Leone's.
Yeah, I know where's that.
And it's next to like this little deli.
No, you don't like Lenny's?
I love Lenny's, but now it's $20-something for a pizza.
It's $20 for a pizza no matter what.
No, Luigi's is like $16.
Well, if I'm going to Point Pleasant, I'm going to Pat's for a steak.
They got the cornmeal under the
it's old school, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, it's it gives Lenny's a run for its money.
Lenny's, because we have an office. Right
and listen, I'm a big advocate of Lenny's. I'm a big time.
Yeah, his food
supporter.
is good in there.
They do.
And he owns that Castaways over there too. That's a place I want to play in. I'd like to play
I
in
dabble a little bit, but it's hard. It's hard to get a seat, right? It's always
It's a
packed.
small place.
Yeah, it's always packed.
That's more my thing. Is small places. I don't like the big crowds anymore.
Well, like Crab's Claw in the off season is good. I can get a seat.
Yeah, that's a cool place. That's been there forever.
Yeah. They lost some ownership there and some deaths in the family, and they've kind of had to talk about evolving, right? They were one of the few businesses open during the COVID.
Yeah.
And
that the Lacey Diner was it? Remember the Lacey Diner was going against the governor and the state police, and they arrested the guy, and because he was staying open. Crazy times.
Unbelievable. They did have the open container policy for a little bit on the boardwalk over here.
Well, in Cape May, you can walk around and
Well, that's how the rule was born on the Atlantic City boardwalk. It was never like that. Then COVID, they implemented that and they just kept it that way.
Wow.
Every boardwalk should be that way.
Yeah.
Except
again,
Ocean City, you can't.
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
dry. Is that?
Yeah.
I know Wildwood Crest is dry. Well, did you play football?
I did. Yeah.
Where'd
Tight
you
end,
play?
defensive, Hanover Park. John Liberato was our head coach. He's somewhere at Kane College last time I checked. Shout out to Coach Liberato. We were the 1997 Iron Hills Conference champions.
What position did you play?
Tight end and defensive end.
Get the F out of here. That's what I played.
Yeah,
Tight end and defensive end. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I like defense better because I like to hit the quarterback. And leading scorer, class of 80 on and off the field. Oh, wait a minute.
Hey now.
I've been dying to say that. Only kidding.
But no, believe it or not, though, basketball was really like
That was my main sport.
my main sport. I was really good at basketball.
Pocono Invitational. I used to go every summer.
Well, yeah, I had, my problem was off the court in the classroom. I was terrible.
Yeah,
I
me
had
too.
a chip on the shoulder the size of the Rock of Gibraltar. Never went to class.
Yeah, my senior year. Once I got my driver's license, I was done with school.
But
And you can
it-
tell by my vocabulary.
But the teachers enabled me because they were glad I didn't come to class, so they encouraged it.
I was good at
As
gym.
long as I brought them a coffee from Burger King across the street. Shout out to the teacher's name. I can't remember, but
Well,
they
it was
couldn't wait
South
to get rid of
Plainfield
me.
Tigers. Ardtown was known for wrestling.
So was Hanover Park. Well, originally,
You didn't have Bill Ashnault, though.
Well, listen, I moved from Belleville to East Hanover in 1991. I mean, you can't get more Italian wrestling teams in those two towns. So, I mean, we always, whether it was Belleville or Hanover Park, we always had wrestlers. And James Laval, whose brother married Snooki, Giovanni.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Giovanni like this because James was my buddy. He was a 3-time state champion wrestler. He lost one match in the state championship finals. That's the only reason why he's not 4-time state champion. 3-time state wrestling champion.
Him?
James Laval.
Oh.
No, not Giovanni.
Oh, all right.
No,
He lost
Giovanni,
me.
he just
Mary Snooki.
he tumbled into
I used to see the other one. Who's the one that was the JWoww guy? He's on Roger Matthews.
I don't know, but JWoww came into it might have been the Beachcomber or no, it was EJ's with their camera crew trying to like get me to buy her beer one day. Keep it
The
moving.
EJs. Is
EJ.
That's the one on the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, and EJ's now they're trying to be the Tap Tavern.
Yeah.
Like, will you stop it?
EJ's Tap House.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah,
think
will
it
you
was.
stop
Yeah.
it?
They
I mean, the
that's
whole-
one
the
with all
whole-
the pool tables in.
Man, the whole beauty of EJ's was I ordered a pitcher and a shot. I gave a 20 and I got 15 back.
Yeah,
Now you
those
order a
days are
pitcher and a
gone.
shot and there is no change.
You're giving the but everything. It's everywhere. On
Unbelievable.
The but I still
Will you
go.
stop it?
I still go.
Yeah, no, I'll go. But
Yeah.
it's like, dude, stop trying to be fancy, like serving craft beers and go back to your pitchers of Coors Light and Budweiser and just
See,
stop
I can't
it.
drink those. It gives me a headache.
When you're on the beach, dude, like, you got to pace yourself. A little, I don't know, man. Beachcomber,
I'll drink
Coors Light,
water.
$2 all day, every day.
Really?
Yeah. now it sounds good, right?
No, I'm still not drinking Coors Light.
It's all of a sudden
No.
it sounds real good.
Nah, not Coors Light or Miller Light, the Michelob. Listen, I like the green bottle.
What
beer is
about
my
the
favorite.
brewery over there? The next to CVS, the real. What are the in Seaside? They have that little brewery.
There's breweries everywhere though now.
No,
Yeah.
it's the only one in Seaside.
Oh, wait a minute, is that the one we went to that party
Real
to?
Brewing.
We went to a party. It was a distillery.
They
I
so when you go to the St. Patty's Day parade in Seaside, it's
I
crazy.
stay far away from
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah, because it's a madhouse.
I'm there on October for.
But if
the
you go
Italian
to the
festival.
real brewery, you could still you're at the tail end of it, but they have a dedicated parking lot. They have all homemade craft brews. It's right across from the CVS where the laundromat is.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank because
Yeah.
I know Seaside. We go. Was the one on Hooper Avenue's got the brewery in it? The BJ Basil's or something. What is it? Oh, the Artisans now it's called.
Well, it's
Yeah,
very
they do the
very
beer
family friendly. They have a video game lounge for the kids.
I'll be in there.
No, I mean, you see families in there all the time. It's great. They have Wi-Fi. Sometimes you go there to work. But the newest place that I like is Breaking Bread on the Boulevard.
We haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
We haven't been there yet.
They do a good job.
There's two of them now.
Well, they got one. They got one. Well, they got one on Fisher. That's more of like a deli type of like a Midshore Meats more kind of thing. They don't sell meats, but they got the pre-cooked meals, and you want an Italian sub, they do that for you. Nice Italian bread. At the Boulevard, it's sit down. BYOB.
Love BYOB.
Okay, it's way better than Teresa South. Okay, you get automatically. They bring the antipasto, little salami, prosciutto, provolone, right off the gate. They don't even ask you; they just bring it. And then this is the only establishment where I've actually gone back and ordered the meatballs twice. It's not something I really do.
Meatballs out of the house?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But they're from North Jersey Italian. But check it out, man. It's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, it is, and that's another good thing about our area. There's a ton of good places to eat, man. I mean,
well, you got to look and search. Like right now, we're sitting here in what is it? February.
Yep.
It's a little bit rough, man.
See, I think it's better this time of the year.
You're in Tom's River. I don't like drifting off the island. I don't like coming over the bridge.
Well,
I only came over the bridge today.
If I could get $1 every time I've talked to people on that. Oh, what? Where's it over the bridge?
I gotta come over the bridge.
I'm not coming over the bridge. Are you kidding me? Even like a bunch of realtor friends I know. Where is it? I don't go over the bridge. I don't go over the bridge.
Here's where I go. I go to
that's great.
Luigi's Market, Tom's River South.
Good place. Yeah. Good pork roll, you can cheese in there.
You know, I never got that there.
Real good.
Oh, yeah. Good to know.
That's real close to us.
Yeah, I like that spot.
Yeah. So. Well, I have a butcher I go to in I actually did a video in there, which is on my my YouTube channel, and great like old school butchers on Route 9 in Bayville by the ShopRite, that little tiny shop right there.
I'll have to check it out.
Great when you mention my name when you go in there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey
yeah. We're pretty close in there. And
good. All right.
It's funny because I would love to record us when there's no customers in there.
Yeah,
it's just us.
Yeah.
Some great conversation. Some great conversations.
Well, what about Geo's now across from Midshore over there, right past the ShopRite on Fisher?
See, I don't go over there. We went there to Joe Bella's once. It was that
right.
restaurant.
Yeah, it's right across.
Okay.
Now I haven't been to Joe Bella's.
It was good.
Yeah. Is that BYOB? No, that has a bar in it, right?
Yeah, because my daughter was drinking martinis.
Okay.
Well, that was good. See, but I'm very picky when it comes to Italian food.
No, I know.
Of the house,
So Gio's was owned by a guy and his mom. The mom did all the cooking, but she was losing it. Like last time I went in there, the pasta fagioli was sour. The cookies were stale.
See, I'm not a soup guy. Pasta fagioli.
No, I bought it for my mother. And I said I thought I did a good thing. I brought her the pasta fagioli. I brought her the cookies. The pasta fagioli was sour. The cookies were stale. I said, "Oh my God, I'd never go back to this."
See, I love Joe Leone's for all that.
Yeah,
prepared.
I never had anything bad.
No,
I mean,
no, never. I've never had anything bad.
Now, when we're talking about the moots, Gio's is pretty good. Joey Leone's is the best. Yeah. Sorrento's in East Hanover is pretty good. Now they got Mama Rayo's in East Hanover. There's a lot of competition for the mozzarella.
That's on my bucket list to make.
Bel Giovanni's in Cedar Grove. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
The mozzarella.
Actually, when we were away, we stopped, believe it or not, had a great Italian dinner. And they made homemade mozzarella in front of you, and they brought it out. It was still warm. Oh, man, I'm still thinking about that. In Charlotte, North Carolina. I couldn't believe it.
It's funny.
I was like, I'm not going to an Italian restaurant in Charlotte. It was incredible.
Charlotte is, first of all, one of the most underrated cities. It's become so underrated now it's almost overrated. But I was just down at one of these All-Star games. Someone was telling me, "Oh, Rick, I got the best Italian restaurant for you in Charlotte." And that was my reaction. Charlotte?
That's what I said. Well done. And somebody had done it. And I was like, come on.
It's like when I'm on the road in Alabama and my buddy turns to me and says, "Hey, you want to grab some pizza?"
No.
Nah.
No,
I'm good, bro.
I'll go for some sausage, gravy, and biscuits. But
I'm good.
You got to be, no.
Now, the other thing they do with the oysters, they cook them. They don't eat them raw.
See, I like them both. It don't matter.
I've always been raw until I start going to Alabama, honestly.
Well, I've had fried oysters down in
They
Florida.
do them grilled, they do them
Yeah.
fried, they do them baked.
Well, that one.
But if
place
you ask
do,
for
yeah.
them raw, they look at you funny.
Really, I love them raw, man. I did 4 dozen the last time we were just down there.
Better than Viagra.
I can eat them. I can eat them things. And the Restaurant Depot sells them cheap.
Donna knows. Look.
Poor Donna.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
She is.
Here,
She's really. She's,
no, I
and what's
appreciate
funny
it, man.
is because when we first started doing this, they say, well, who's doing it again? I say Donna, and they're like, who? Because Donna was not ever with electronics. It's not she. They just don't agree with you, and she's amazing.
Holding
on the
it
camera.
down.
She's doing it.
Well, you guys showed me some new technology here with the hard drive, the plug-in. We just transferred.
Yeah, I just transfer it onto my computer
great,
and then
man.
upload it wherever I want. I'm going to send you the link.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna blow up the YouTube channel.
Well, I'm looking forward to this year for all that.
Yeah.
Especially some of them other things you told me this morning before we were on air.
Yeah.
Not that we're on air, but recording. And wow, this was a cool show. Definitely,
I
we
hope so.
talked
I hope we
football.
delivered. I hope we
talked
delivered
food.
to the audience a little bit.
We
Yeah,
talked
you know.
seaside. Talked a lot of stuff today.
What is Jamie making for the Sunday dinner? This
I have an open
Super
house
Bowl?
Sunday.
What
Actually,
are you cooking? Are you catering? What are you doing?
no, I don't do food because God forbid something happens.
It's too
then-
much for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
How many
never-
people?
For what? No, I'm
you got
doing an
people
open
coming?
house for.
Oh.
I have a list. I got a
You're having an
listing.
open house party.
No.
What
I
about the
haven't-
Super Bowl? Were you cooking something or no?
No,
Yeah.
it's not. Like I'd rather just. I used to go to Super Bowl parties and all that stuff
Yeah.
when I was a kid. Now it's just me and her, and
Yeah.
maybe one of the kids will come by, but it's not a big deal for me anymore. It
Yeah.
used to be, but again,
No, I
that
hear
whole
you.
kneeling thing really, and plus now this whole with the Chiefs and all enough.
Well,
I know there's a lot of Chief fans out there.
Well, we didn't
That's
get-
only my opinion.
We didn't get your prediction because I mean the Chiefs are going for
I'm
history.
going with the Eagles. I think they're due.
Yeah.
I really do, and that would really be an FU to the Giants if Shaquan goes and has a great day. And for the Eagles, and listen, I got a lot of friends that are Eagles fans, and we could banter back and forth, but I'd like to see the Eagles because they're the underdogs right now. I'd like
Yeah.
to see them. NFC East needs to be strong again.
And we got to cheer for Sirianni, hey. You know.
Yeah, unbelievable. But enough, and the thing too, I like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, he's
I
really
think he's a
good,
good
yeah.
kid. He's not. He
Yeah, we're
he
just
says
tired
the
of
right
it.
stuff.
We're just
It's
tired of it.
Yeah. It
And
was
we're
like
tired-
I was
we're-
tired of the Steelers
Well,
when I was a kid.
What
winning all the Super
we
Bowls.
really want to see is Patrick Mahomes put his big boy pants on like everybody else and stop being babied.
And hit.
That's what we
Yeah.
want to see.
Remember all the shots Phil Simms used to take back in the day?
How about Leonard Marshall on Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Here's my prediction.
Leonard Marshall.
Here's my Sunday prediction. You ready? Brandon Graham, who's been out the entire season, is going to be activated off of the injured reserve. He's going to come in and he's going to knock Mahomes out of the game. That's my hot take.
Well, then he's probably going
for
to get
Super
thrown
Bowl
out.
Sunday. Yeah, it'll be worth it.
Who's that other defensive guy on the Eagles that's pretty good? I don't know if he was a linebacker or
Oh, Jalen Carter is a mean mug. In
he
the
might be
trenches,
one. Yeah, the name.
They got. I mean, this Eagles defense. I mean, it's #1 in the NFL. Like they got a great secondary, all 3 levels.
And Kansas City, where are they ranking on offense? They're not number one.
No, they're not #1, but I mean, you got Andy Reid, you got
Genius, football genius.
you got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, these guys. It's there's something to be said for continuity.
Yeah.
And that's what really, like, same coach, same system, same scheme. And Patrick Mahomes can run this offense blindfolded.
Yeah.
That's the
Amazing.
difference. That's why the Giants struggle. They got new coaches, new coordinators, new quarterbacks. It's not rocket science. Peyton Manning had, Brett Favre you mentioned. Peyton Manning. They played in the same offense for the first 15 years of their career.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these other guys, Baker Mayfield's going on his, I think, 10th offensive coordinator. He's been in the league 5 years
Wow.
on 4 different teams. Well, no wonder why he's not successful. It's really not a talent thing. It's a coaching thing. It's now you see Detroit. They lost about a half a dozen coaches already to other teams.
So now they got. Wow.
They're gonna go down
did good this
Tubesville.
year. Yeah.
I don't care. Listen. I don't care how good you are. When you get rated like that, you can't make up for those talented. That's a lot of talented people. That's the core. That's the glue. The Eagles, they lost both coordinators. They went to the Super Bowl. Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen, both went on to become head coaches. They got it wrong the first go-around. But give Howie Roseman credit because he cut his losses. He realized he made a mistake, fired both guys, brought in 2 new guys, and they're back in the Super Bowl. Coaching matters.
Yeah, definitely. And who you hire as a real estate agent matters too.
Absolutely. Go to Crossroads Realty. Jamie's passing it forward not only to the community but to the military. That's the kind of guy.
And
he is.
EMS, fire, and police. They're all in the same boat with me. You all get 10%. All right, Rick. We've been here an hour. This is our longest show, right?
Buckle up.
Nice.
I brought
job,
my big
bro.
boy pants.
You did. You knocked it out of the park. I appreciate you coming here and taking the time, being the star that you are. And I think we're going to do it again.
I can't wait, man. Absolutely.
Dude, thank you
ready.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody here at Crossroads Realty. George Shenwolf, my manager, Chris DePiro, #1 CEO in the business. Donna, nice job behind the controls. And we will be seeing you soon, all right? Next show, we'll be back to real estate. But I had a lot of fun here with Rick today. And thanks for watching. Everybody have a great year.
Thank you.